Hello, St. Joseph's Weewarr. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today is Monday, the 20th of April. On Saturday, the 25th of April, it is Anzac Day. Now, Anzac Day means a lot to Australians and New Zealanders. And it's a day where we remember the sacrifice that people before us have made in times of war, particularly in the World War I, then into World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and then into the Gulf War and into the wars of our generation in Afghanistan and Iraq. So what I thought I'd do is each day deliver a new book. So I've got a series of books here that I want to read to you over the next 5 days. Hopefully it is something that you can listen to, you can look at, and it might pique some interest, and you might want to have a read of that again in your own time. I'm going to be looking at this book here called Lest We Forget. I'm going to look at a lovely book called A Soldier, a Dog, and a Boy. One of my personal favourites that I've read for a number of years in the classroom, a book called In Flanders Fields. A lovely book called We're All Australians, and that's an adaptation of Banjo Paterson's poem, We Are All Australians. And then the final one that I'd like to do on Friday would be The Beach They Called Gallipoli. And particularly this one, it's very factual, and it will give you a lot of information about what happened during the Gallipoli landings as well. So to start off with, I'd like us to look at this Lest We Forget book. Now, this book is written by Kerry Brown, illustrated by Isabel Knowles and Benjamin Portas. It's a wonderful little book, but every second page, or every couple of pages, it's blank. There's no text, but it's a completely different illustration. And I want to see if you can figure out why that is so. If you do, drop us a comment, especially students, if mum or dad can write down what you thought of during that book when we're looking at those pages without text. What images come to your mind, and why do you think the author made that so? So to start, lest we forget. My granddad says there are 2 types of days: those you want to remember and those you want to forget. I remember my first day of school. I had a brand new uniform, and Mum polished my shoes until I could see my face in them. I was a little bit scared. My mum said I had to stand tall because I was her brave little soldier. I remember playing soccer on the weekends with my team. We trained really hard. Sometimes we won and sometimes we lost. Our coach said that we were like a family and it was important for us to look after each other on the field. What do you think the picture will be next? I remember when my baby sister was born. Mum and Dad had a celebration. All of our friends arrived with presents and plates of food. Everyone sang and danced late into the night. I would like to forget the day Mum tried to make stuffed pork. She burnt the roast and the whole house filled up with smoke. We had to eat Vegemite sandwiches for dinner. Look at that cooking. Wonderful. And looking aside here. What do you think those soldiers are eating there? Might be something that you make around this time of year. I would like to forget the day Dad's truck got a flat tire. I had to walk all the way to school. The sun was scorching hot and my bag was so heavy. I would like to forget the day the vet rang to say our dog had died. Dad helped me make her a special goodbye bed in the backyard. What do you think in this picture here? The word there says telegram. What do you think that means? Sometimes when I visit Grandad, we talk about our days. Grandad's stories are always interesting, and he thinks mine are funny. There are some funny pictures there. He's climbing in trees. He's got his guinea pig. He's walking with his granddad. There's a funny hat on his grandma there. Grandad says that out of all of the days of the year, there are two that are very important. This one, April the 25th. He says they are days that make the country stand still, and they are days that make him sad. I asked Grandad if these are the days he would like to forget. He looked at me and said, "No, son, these are the days when we must stop and remember." I like that. These are the days when we must stop and remember. So this one's April the 25th. This one here with the poppy is November the 11th. Why do you think we would stop on the 25th of April and November the 11th? Lest we forget. I like that story. It's a simple story, but it's got some really, really good images and themes throughout it. What did you think when you seen this image? It's an interesting image. You can see here his wife, the baby on the way, and he's getting ready to go somewhere. He's got a hat that's turned up at the side. What do you think that means? And looking here, the image is in a trench. The reason I can see it's a trench is you can see the sandbags at the top and see the wood planks going around underneath. And even here, there's a little rat. I wonder why. This is something that you might know. These kind of biscuits. These are called Anzac biscuits. They're great biscuits. And the reason why we have Anzac biscuits is because they were able to be baked at home using ingredients that people had at home, but they were able to send them halfway around the world to the battlefields over in Europe. So this year is a little different. When it comes to April the 25th, we won't be able to be outside at the dawn service for Anzac Day. It's going to look a little different. It might sound a little different. Here in Wee Waa, I hope that if people are outside in their driveways, as some people are planning on doing, I wonder if we will hear a bugle playing, someone playing the story, the song, The Last Post. We'll have to wait and see. I hope you have enjoyed that story. It's a story that came out in 2015 to celebrate the 100 years of Anzac. And I want to be able to talk a bit more about that when we get into some of the other books that we're going to be sharing across this week. So have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your time with your families. Make sure, children, that you are doing things to help out at home. Make sure that you're doing the dishes, cleaning your bedrooms, and making your beds. Hope to see you again tomorrow. Have fun and stay safe.